Hey guys, it's Lottie over here. Thank you for watching our Pinpoint tutoring videos. We've come so far. Keep plugging away with us and you too will get good at math. Everybody can do this. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, Pinpoint_tutoring on Instagram, Pinpoint Tutoring Services on Facebook. You've already seen examples 1 and 2. Just to reiterate again, this expression means that 3 times x is 15. X is just some number. We don't know that number yet. You want to see how we solve this one? Go back and see the second video after the first video of solving one-step equations, And this expression just means 2/3 times y, which is 4. And it's another expression that you can easily solve using the same technique as we did last time. So I showed you one way of doing that, and I'm going to show you that way again, but a different way of solving this one as well, which may come more instinctively easy for you to grasp and understand. So the way we did this one before, I'm going to solve it this way. So if you know and you followed our videos by now, you know that this expression, 4 over 5t is equal to 16. This means that 4 divided by 5, or 4/5, multiplying t, is 16. So to solve 4t, you divide both sides by that coefficient. Now I'm using some fancy terms. This term is always going to be called a coefficient. So when you hear divide by the coefficient, what the coefficient is just some number that's next to the letter that's multiplying that letter. The coefficient of 3x here is 3. The coefficient of y here is 2/3. So to properly use the term, it's the coefficient of x is 3. The coefficient of y is 2/3. The coefficient of t is 4/5. So to get rid of a coefficient that's multiplying that letter, you have to do the opposite action. So it's always going to be the opposite action. Go back and see me do this in the previous 2 videos. Opposite actions applied. And in this case, we have 4/5 multiplying t, so we're going to divide by what? The exact same coefficient number itself. 4 divided by 5, 4/5. So since I do it to one side of the equation, I have to do it on the other side. That's how we keep the equation balanced. Otherwise, we're wrong. So we divide both sides by 4/5, and this will always cancel to be 1. The reason why we're dividing by that coefficient is because any number divided by itself is always 1. So this is again 1 times t. And 1 times t is just itself, t. And t is now equal to 16 divided by 4/5, which if you saw our last video really boils down to 16 multiplying 5/4. And this is really 80 divided by 4, which is 20. So that means that t is equal to 20, and this is our solution. So this is one way to go about the video, this is one way to go about solving this problem. And you've already seen me do this in the previous example. Now I'm going to erase it and show you guys a different way to do this. So that's one way to do it, is to divide by the coefficient all the time and then just deal with that messy fraction substance. The other way is to take the exact same thing that you see a fraction multiplying in an algebraic expression and multiply by the opposite of that. Because notice we wound up multiplying 16 by 5/4 anyway. And you'll see something interesting happen when I do it this way. So if I decide to multiply one side of the equation by a number, I have to multiply the other side the same way. I divided by 4/5 in my previous examples. I had to divide by 4/5 here. I divided by 2/3 here, had to divide by 2/3 here. I divided by 3 here, had to divide by 3 here. Always the same on both sides. So in this case, instead of dividing by the coefficient, I'm going to multiply by a different coefficient. And you can totally do that. Math allows us to. So I'm going to multiply this side of the equation by 5/4. And I picked 5/4, yes, because it is the exact flip of 4/5. So if I multiply 5/4 on the left side, then I have to multiply 5/4 on the right side. And when I do that, notice that this 5 and these 5s cancel. And this 4 and this 4 cancels. Or if you multiply it out in a different way, 5 times 4 is 20, 4 times 5 is 20, and then you have 20 over 20t, which is really just 1 times t, right? And 1 times t is just t. So that's my little sidetrack over there. But now t is by itself, and then I have t is equal to 5 divided by 4 times 16. You can either cancel or just put that directly into a calculator, and you'll see that this is really 80 over 4, which is 20. Or if you break it in the step this way, you have 4 going into 16 4 times, and 5 times 4 is also 20. So these are kind of hopefully helped you break down solving one-step equations for a second. And hopefully you guys are still sticking with me, trying to practice these on your own. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If we see them and we have time, we'll make a video, try to help you out. So thank you so much. Be sure to follow us and have a blessed day.